You've felt it before. You enter a room and one person isn't speaking. Yet somehow, they're the most noticeable person there. They aren't louder, they aren't more animated. And still, something about them holds the air. This isn't charisma in the traditional sense. This is something deeper. An unfair advantage most people overlook completely. Today, we're going to decode what silent people know that everyone else misses. And by the end, you'll understand exactly how to steal their secret. Most of us are taught that speaking up is power, that filling silence is confidence. But the human blueprint reveals the opposite. Constant talking is often a leakage of status. Silence, when used deliberately, doesn't signal weakness. It signals control. Think of it as the difference between a frantic signal and a calm, unwavering frequency. The quiet person doesn't need to broadcast. Their presence transmits without noise. Here is the first mechanic of the silent advantage: information asymmetry. When you stop filling the air, others will. They'll offer opinions, justifications, insecurities. In a negotiation, the person who speaks first after a pause often loses leverage. Silent people instinctively understand this. They let the space do the work. The silence becomes a mirror, and the other person rushes to fill it, often handing over far more than they intended. This isn't manipulation, it's observation turned into an invisible asset. The second advantage is cognitive. Speaking activates the brain's verbal and emotional centers, often drowning out deeper processing. But when you stay quiet, your prefrontal cortex, responsible for reasoning, strategy, and social cognition, operates at full bandwidth. You're not just hearing words, you're reading microexpressions, voice tremors, the shape of a lie. Silent people become human lie detectors and strategic thinkers not because of some genetic gift, but because they've removed the noise. They've preserved their processing power for what matters: truth. The third edge is social magnetism. Humans are drawn to what they can't instantly read. When someone speaks sparingly, our brains label them as holding unrevealed value. We project depth onto them. This is why the quietest person in the room often ends up with the most authority, not because they demanded it, but because the group subconsciously assigned it. It's the principle of scarcity applied to words. When you don't hand out your thoughts like flyers, each one gains weight, and people lean in. Now, the question you're really here for: how do you steal this? You don't need to become a hermit or fake a mysterious persona. You implement what silent people do naturally as a conscious practice. The core blueprint is a 3-step loop: listen, hold, then speak. Before you respond to anything, give yourself a mandatory 3-second pause. In that gap, you do 3 things. You observe the person's face, you feel your own impulse to react, and you choose the fewest words that carry maximum clarity. This tiny delay rewires your entire social presence. You stop being a reactor and start being an observer who chooses when to enter the frame. There's a crucial distinction here. The goal isn't to become mute or suppress your personality, it's to weaponize intention. The unfair advantage isn't silence itself, it's the mastery of when to break it. Silent people aren't winning because they have nothing to say. They're winning because they treat words like precision tools rather than confetti. And here's the hidden payoff. When you do speak, after a stretch of deliberate quiet, people listen as if it's the only voice in the room, because to their blueprint-wired minds, it is. This isn't a personality trait you have to be born with. It's a switch already wired into your human blueprint, just waiting to be flipped. Today, in one conversation, try the 3-second pause. Say less than you want to. Watch what happens. You'll notice something shift. Not just in how others see you, but in how clearly you see them. That is the unfair advantage. And now it's yours.